On January 7, 2026, at around 7:55 p.m. local Atlantic time, U.S. forces boarded and seized an oil tanker flying the Russian flag in international waters. This wasn't a drill. This wasn't wartime combat. This was a sanctions enforcement operation linked directly to Venezuela. Just hours earlier, on the same day, another oil tanker had already been seized in the Caribbean Sea. 2 ships. One day. One global shock. So why did this happen on January 7th, 2026? Why was a Russian-flagged vessel involved? And what does this mean for the world economy, global politics, and oil markets? Venezuela has the largest proven oil reserves in the world. Yet decades of mismanagement, corruption, and U.S. sanctions have crippled its ability to sell oil legally. Since 2019, U.S. sanctions targeted Venezuela's oil exports, aiming to reduce revenue for the Maduro regime. Ships carrying Venezuelan oil have since used complex methods to evade detection, changing the vessel's name, switching the flag, masking ownership and routes. These ships are sometimes called ghost tankers because they disappear from tracking systems. By late December 2025, U.S. intelligence noticed suspicious movements of several tankers, setting the stage for a dramatic enforcement action. Between December 17th and 20th, 2025, the tanker known as Bella 1 began evading U.S. Coast Guard boarding attempts in the Caribbean. On December 24th, 2025, the ship was renamed Marinera and flew the Russian flag. This was an attempt to disguise its Venezuelan cargo, but it didn't work. From January 1st to 6th, 2026, the vessel was tracked as it moved north across the Atlantic, near Iceland and Scotland. Then came the decisive moment. On January 7th, 2026, at 7:55 p.m., U.S. forces boarded and seized the Marinera in international waters. This is a rare seizure, especially for a ship flying the flag of another major power. Earlier on January 7th, 2026, at around 10:13 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the second tanker, MT Sophia, was seized in the Caribbean Sea. 2 ships, one coordinated operation, and no coincidence. The U.S. is sending a message. Sanctions will be enforced, regardless of how far you sail, or what flag you fly. The involvement of a Russian-flagged vessel raises the stakes. Russia claims, the seizure violates international maritime law. The ship was in international waters. And the U.S. acted illegally. The U.S. counters. The tanker was carrying sanctioned Venezuelan oil. Enforcement applies regardless of flag or ownership. Analysts warn this dispute could escalate quickly, with potential diplomatic or economic consequences. This isn't just political. This is economic. Oil prices react instantly to uncertainty. Shipping routes become riskier, insurance premiums rise, and fuel prices can spike around the world. If actions like this continue, the way oil moves internationally could fundamentally change. So what happens after January 7th, 2026? Will Russia retaliate diplomatically or economically? Will Venezuela find new ways to transport oil? Could this trigger wider tensions in global shipping lanes? Experts suggest this could signal a new era where maritime enforcement becomes a tool of international power. So as of January 7th, 2026, here's the reality. 2 oil tankers seized in one day, one flying the Russian flag, both tied to Venezuelan oil sanctions. The oceans have become a new front in global power enforcement. What happens next could unfold in days, not months. Will Russia respond? Will Venezuela reroute oil? Will oil prices react? Subscribe for updates as this story develops. Comment below. Was the January 7th seizure justified or dangerous? Because history may look back at January 7th, 2026, as the day maritime sanctions changed forever.